Welcome to Crazy Gamer Models. I am the Crazy Gamer and I do models. It's up to date Monday, so what's on the bench this week? So we're working on some North Carolina stuff and all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the North Carolina on the bench here. And don't forget our Christmas cheer, because it is December and the holidays are fast approaching. The new year, which means new projects. So we need to get a move on our current projects. The King Tiger build is nearly complete, just a couple final assembly pieces, and then putting all the sub-assemblies together, and we shall have a completed model. Still debating on how I want to put it together to show off all the work I did on the inside, even though it's not painted. I still did put all that work on the inside, and I want to show that off. Now, here's the North Carolina. I decided not to glue on all of the top deck to the lower deck yet. I'm going to hold off on that. I went ahead and I glued this upper section right here to the lower section like so. I glued it on there, and because of this work that is needed here, as you can see in here, there are a sink mark here and a divot spot in here, gap there, or a step there. So that's going to need some work, and also this seam is going to need a little bit of work also. So I will do the work on this back section here with these portholes. This needs to be cleaned up and fixed, so I'm just going to drill these portholes out. I'm going to drill these out, sand them off, and then put some photo etch detail around them to make them stand back out, so we won't have any detail lost there. But to mark the position, I'm going to drill them out with the appropriate size drill bit. So that is the lower hull part of the North Carolina. And I worked on this a little bit yesterday and a little bit this morning, an early riser. So we'll set that aside momentarily, and we will look at what else I have done. This is the Big Ed kit, the Edard photo etch kit for the North Carolina, and I basically have been putting the doors on all the B pieces that go on this superstructure decking for the superstructure goes. So I'll show you. I have these doors here, these pieces with the doors on them. I also have my container with all of these. All in all, about 40 doors so far, and I still have at least that many to go. I've only done the B pieces. I still have some C and a G piece to do, and then later on in the build there's some more B pieces, but I'm going to move on to, because in the main kit instructions it wants me to start applying these door sections to this wall in here. But in order to do that, there's detail that goes on all three of these pieces. So, and it's kind of confusing on how it wants you to do that. Here it has the detail going on with everything kind of assembled into the top of the ship, but you have to remove a lot of detail, like this right here has got to be removed, and I feel that it's going to be easier to remove it outside of the hull. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to remove this from outside of the hull, and then I'm going to add all this deck detail to this piece here, and then move on to this deck structure. But when I get here, I'm going to have to add all the pieces on, and then add all this structure on there. And once I get that done, I can move Well, it goes into the guns and the cranes and the bulfers and all that stuff, but I'm skipping that to go to the rear deck, which is in here. You jump around a lot, basically. Okay. There's definitely a rear deck in here. Okay, well, I'll have to go through it again and find the rear deck pieces. Oh, here it is, the aft deck. It was up here in the front. So I'll do the aft deck stuff, and then the front of the ship, the bow, and then the midship. We'll get all that done. Then once all this deck detail's done, and that I will glue these onto the deck, clean up the seams because there are some minor seams. I'll clean those up, and then we can start on building the guns or the superstructure or the island or whatever we deem fit to be next. Because as you remember, I'm not using the big Ed for like the bulfers. I have external bulfers for master models I'm probably going to use that are resin, so I'm going to have to skip some of this parts and move on to different areas like that. So, and also going to have to get to the instructions, because at the rear of the ship here we have to put these rings in place for the quad mount 40s, so you're going to have to add some plastic pieces and things like that. Also, there's some hatch detail and whatnot that needs to be replaced with the photo etch. So it's becoming an interesting project. I have a video on photo etch, and then I did an update working on the photo etch doors. I'll do another update video when I decide exactly how I'm going to proceed in removing some more of the detail from the decks. I just wanted to make sure I got this the hull glued up, and that I am ready to move on to some more minor detail photo etch. And I'm going to have to do some annealing of pieces on this, and I plan on annealing a whole sheet at one time on a piece of fire resistant tile, which is most tile. So that's basically it. That's basically going to cover what this week is going to be about. It's mostly going to be focused on the North Carolina. I have some kit reviews coming in. I have some important news for the first of the year that we're going to start talking about very soon. But I do have a couple kits. I'll post some pictures on the social media sites right after I do this video of one of the kits that I got. It's a pretty neat kit. It's going to be a quick build. It's just going to be done in the spare time. Be a couple update videos on it. It'll be a nice little kit to do, and it's got some cool added features and stuff. So keep an eye out on social media for that, and also it will be on the Patreon page. If you choose to support me, that is fine. I would greatly appreciate it. But that's going to do it for this video. I am the Crazy Gamer, and for Crazy Gamer Models, I wish you guys a fantastic day. Thank you so much.